Well, good morning everyone. Just thought I would show you the process I use when growing up or potting up my Japanese maple seedlings from where I stratify them in a container like this. So this has a whole bunch of holes on the bottom. So in the wintertime, I just fill it up with pine bark. If you're out west, you can use fir bark. And then sprinkle them on top, so you can see some of the seedlings in here that didn't germinate, that are left over. But yeah, sprinkle them on top and then cover them lightly with another layer of pine bark. And then for me, I put mesh over it, so that way the squirrels don't try and eat the seeds during the wintertime. So it's like chicken wire. So the process basically right now is I'm going to separate them out and then plant them into containers so they can kind of grow on their own roots. And then once they kind of fill these out, then I'll plant them up into maybe a 1 gallon from here, depending on how well they're doing. But so here's the ones I've done so far. And so the process is basically I'll dig one out kind of like this, get the roots, put it into one of these pots, and then let's see if I can do it with one hand. And then basically just take some soil and put it in there. And so I want to make sure the roots are going down and not tangling on each other. It's a little harder with one hand. And then just want to make sure that they're nice and compact. The nice thing about these ones is they have the slits in the side, so that way the roots won't, when they reach the edge, they won't, they'll stop growing. They won't continue the circle. So it's called air pruning. I got these from Bootstrap Farmers, not sponsored by them. Bought all these myself. I've been using them. They work well. Like I said, then I get some nice healthy roots on them, and then we'll pot them up into 1 gallons when I start seeing that they've kind of filled these containers. These are I think it's 2 inches at the top, and I think it tapers down a little bit, but just to kind of get it some size perspective. So this process is a little bit harder, so I just kind of come in and try and get as much of the root ball as I can. This one's a little bit easier because it's kind of by itself. Once I kind of have the root ball, get as much of it as I can, like I said, and then I'll just kind of transfer it over into the pot. And then if there's any extra room, then I'll just come back in and backfill it a little bit. I'll make sure that there's no air gaps. I'm checking kind of down low, checking below, making sure there's no real big air pots, and I'll water these in when I'm done. Take a little bit of extra, fill it in, and that's kind of the process there. So and then I'll do it again. So this one, unfortunately, it looks like it got some damage, so I'm probably going to skip that one because it looks like it's not going to be a good rootstock since it's damaged there already. So we'll come do this one over here. So the ones that actually, we'll do one over here where they're a little bit more together. This gets a little bit more tricky because these ones are so close to each other. So like I said, I try and get down as low as I can, kind of below. You can use a trowel if you want. Just trying to separate them out. So it looks like I kind of got this one. Got the biggest root ball off of it I can. I'll put it into the pot, make sure all the roots are going in. But you can already see like some the nice healthy roots. And that's, like I said, this is just growing in straight pine bark. Once they get potted up from this one, I don't want to make sure I don't plant it too much deeper than where it was. Once it gets potted up from these ones, then I'll put them in kind of like a perlite, a little bit more potting soil type medium for them to grow up in on the 1 gallon pot. Still mix in some pine bark just for drainage and stuff. So kind of lightly tap that down. And there it is. And now it's done. So if you have any questions about kind of my process, let me know. Thanks for watching.